for joining in the exclusive masterclass today, STEM at NEP 2020, Coding in Classroom, a precursor to Digital India. Brought to you by EduDay's School of Inspired Teaching and Learning and Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham University. Honored to introduce all of you to our expert for the day, Maheshwara Chaitanyaji, Director Admissions, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham University. He has more than 2 decades of experience in the field of computer science and engineering and has been serving as the contest director for the past 15 years at the International Collegiate Programming Contest. Maheshwaraji has been instrumental in taking Amrita and India to global heights for competitive programming. He has also been conferred with the Distinguished Leadership Award in 2018 by ICBC Global. Welcome, sir, and we look forward to learning from you today.
Thank you, Kuhika. Thank you, EduDays, for this wonderful platform. Let me share the screen now. Can you see my screen, please? I have put a question in the chat box. Okay, thank you. So the quote here explains everything in today's world. In fact, the educators, anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young. So typically what happens, I keep learning myself, keep updated about the technology. And that is what inspires me to talk about the technology and especially coding. So why we need coding? So what we will touch up today is primarily what is the future in terms of technology. How is it going to affect the career of the teachers in a subtle way? What is it that the teachers can embrace? What is it that the teachers can start practicing, upskilling themselves to make sure that they are able to impart exactly the same quality to the students in the classroom? So the famous quote by Steve Jobs, everyone should learn to code because it will teach you how to think. So this is something which is very, very critical at this point of time, especially. And we will touch up 3 important points today. I have almost like 33 slides. I'm hoping to complete by 5 o'clock or maybe in the 45 minutes. And I'm ready to take the questions. So we will start with going through the future technology. See, an important fact we have to realize, and which we are already aware, is data is the future. You go to Amazon, you go to Myntra, you go to Swiggy, you go to any app, any website, you see the cookies. And the website will ask you the permission to track. The website sometimes asks you whether you need any push notification. So the entire activity is being tracked. So how does it help the website or the browser or Google or any company to develop their own solutions for marketing, to reach out to the potential customers through this data? So technology will drive the data will catalyze the knowledge, and finally it is empowerment. So that is how the world is going to be. These are the key technologies that will emerge in future. That is the AI, machine learning, robotics, 5G, which is very, very important because the entire other things will depend on communication. Now that you have the mobile app, and you can just access any class, you can attend any webinar using a mobile just because of the communication technology. Automation is something which we have to fear, or people fear of, because we think that the jobs will be lost. There is something called as data science, big data analysis, cyber security. The cyber crime is increasing exponentially day by day. There is quantum computing, edge computing, and there are drones being used even for crowd safety and surveillance. So this is how the bigger picture of technology that will look like in future. So now I would like to play a short video by Microsoft on how the AI, the artificial intelligence and machine learning, will help the healthcare sector. So when we look at the video, we will see the applications of AI in healthcare. Both are two different domains. So from the educator's point of view, from the teacher's point of view, we have to understand it in such a way that even the biology students are expected to understand how the technology will impact their career in future. So let us watch the video. It's just 2.5 minutes.
Is the symbiotic relationship between the human and machine that brings the magic of AI to medicine in a meaningful way.
Now we have the tools to make a huge difference to human life.
Cancer research is increasingly powered by data. Those data remain siloed across institutions.
We're creating a data ecosystem that allows people to share data and making sure that we're doing that in a way that still maintains the privacy of the patients.
With the power of AI, we can go after the unknown. And I can guarantee that we'll find something that nobody expected.
Silent death syndrome scares every mother and father, and it is a problem we have to change. The collaboration with Microsoft, AI for Health, will help to start this next step of our discovery. Our data show very convincingly clear correlation between smoking and SIDS, and just changing behavior can save children's lives. You cannot measure the benefit of that.
It's a sad day when the patient comes in and I can't impact them.
Through AI for Health, we will be building an AI solution that can autonomously diagnose diabetic retinopathy.
With the portable camera, I can take healthcare to the patients who would not be able to come to us. I want you to look right here.
Going forward, we can address the 500 million patients that are out there and disrupt this disease. AI for Health and Iris together can have that impact.
Today, there are 200,000 leprosy patients diagnosed every year. If you catch it in the stage of a skin lesion, you can cure the person. We are teaching an AI algorithm to recognize leprosy in an image of a skin lesion.
With AI, we can help patients help themselves to get to the right experts at the right time. If you can help a child to not lose their fingers, that means everything.
Innovation comes from bringing different perspectives together. And what an amazing partnership this is for all of us.
When you see that you can make a big impact on somebody's life, that's the greatest thing ever.
We can help eliminate the oldest disease known to man and make history. That's how we want to contribute to the world.
So you saw how it is important for even a biology student to learn how the technology will impact the career. It is not just a doctor, but it is all the students who will go to the healthcare and health science profession. Let us take this example. Is AI limited just to computer science? No, definitely not. Now there are drums that will beat by itself with the help of a computer program, which means that you don't need a person to beat the drums. Let us say if it is in a hotel, they can just run the program and that program will beat the drums according to the music which you want to play. So what happens? Here, AI has already completed the Beethoven's unfinished 10th symphony. And it took almost like 1.5 years to train the entire AI system. So what does it mean? Let us see the last sentence. There are those who will say that the arts should be off limits from AI, and that AI has no business trying to replicate the human creative process. He says, yet when it comes to arts, I see AI not as a replacement, but as a tool. So that is exactly how the teachers are expected to accept the technology. It will certainly not replace the teachers, but it will be an aid to help you or help the teachers in such a way that we can develop professionally. So this is how the changes are taking place. Now, machines certainly need man. The moment you talk about a mobile phone can be programmed to behave in such a way that it will wake you up. But it requires a human being to do that. It can do anything, but if there is a human being, machines can do much, much more. At the same time, a software or a device cannot create, market, sell, feed, clean itself. You need a human being even for that. So what does it mean? Human beings cannot be replaced just with machines. Only thing is that you have to upskill yourself to make sure that you are ready to embrace the technology. And the machines are tools, and tools needs to be used by the people. Otherwise, we'll be completely in a science fiction. On the right hand side, you can see a cargo aircraft. What does it mean? See, suppose if assume that there are people who are working as the monitors to check whether the cargo truck is connected, the catering truck is connected or not. They are now replaced with the help of AI and image processing, where somebody sitting at the computer can find out if it is fixed or not. You see now the toll booths, it is being replaced with the help of FASTag. Now, in the years to come, the transportation ministry, they say that they're planning to fix GPS in every vehicle, so that all the toll booths, these people need not stop anywhere. The moment you cross the line, immediately the toll fees is completely reduced. So that is how the technology is growing. And that is where we will see that there is a replacement of human beings with machines. This is a research paper published by Cognizant. And they say that in the years to come, that is by 2030, these all are the designations or portfolios that the people will have as the job offers. Strategic HR Business Continuity Director, chatbot and human facilitator. Have you ever thought of such a portfolio or a designation? Because nowadays, it is possible for a website to answer all the queries. Instead of somebody calling the telephone operator, the chatbot can answer all the queries. What is required is somebody who wants to find the information. I want to find an information, then I have to be skilled enough to type the content to get or type the query so that I get the answer. HR data detective or algorithm bias auditor. Algorithm is the key thing that will decide how the program has to behave or how efficient a program has to be. So it can be biased. There were so many issues with Google, maybe a few years back, that it was showing the search results in a biased fashion. That was rectified later. So which means that human beings can do anything with technology. And at the same time, it is not that the human beings can just be replaced with machines. It is not possible. So these are the ways in which you have to think why you need to embrace the technology, why you need to embrace the technology inside the classroom. So let us see what is the policy on technology integration. So this is taken from the NEP draft, NEP 2020 draft. I have taken only the keywords. So AI, machine learning, blockchains, smart handheld computing devices, adaptive computer testing for student development will not change what students learn. Certainly not. It is the same content being delivered, but the way how they learn, that will change. And what is the thrust? What is the improvement of the teaching, learning, and evaluation process? Where can you cut down the time and use the time for productive purpose? supporting the teacher preparation and development, professional development of the teachers, and how the educational processes can be enhanced so that the ugly work, the administrative work taken off by the teachers can be reduced. The entire assessment, the entire attendance management, admission management, everything can be automated. So you focus only on the teaching learning process, the delivery of the content, feedback from the students, enhancing the topics again, the lectures again, then again tweaking the delivery. So that is the focus once the technology is integrated with in the classroom. So these are again the excerpts. One is digital infrastructure. You already know that we have the Google Suite. We have a different type of YouTube videos. We have e-learning systems. And there are tools to teach and learn. And you can always monitor the progress of the students. If it is not available in Gsuite, there are e-learning platforms that will tell you, okay, among these 100 students, these set of students are, it is possible that these set of students may get higher percentage of marks, or these students may get a lower percentage of marks in some subjects. So suppose if you have multiple divisions and you are teaching one subject across all these divisions and you want to understand which class performs better, this will help you. Otherwise, you have to have some Excel sheet and do the sorting and filtering, then only you will be able to understand. So systems or technology, when you integrate in evaluation and assessment, it helps you a lot to understand the progress of the learners, that is the students. Now that we are so familiar with two-way video, two-way audio interfaces, so that it is possible for us to interact virtually with the students. It is beyond the walls, it is beyond the classrooms. And that said, that is not the only way to do, or that will not serve the entire purpose. And once the content is created, you have a digital repository. Now that we used to have the pen and paper mode of writing the things, but now it is completely digitized. So what is the advantage? Once you have all the content digitized, it can be accessed from anywhere. Anybody can access from anywhere, and that is the impact of cloud. And if we are able to implement the Google Glass, the virtual reality and augmented reality, we can explain the concepts in a better way. It is just like going to a planetarium and explaining or understanding about the galaxy. You can explain any concept with the help of augmented reality or virtual reality. And you can always have fun-based learning for the students who can understand only with the help of different types of exercises, gamification, or applications. And the beauty is even if there is a digital divide, which means that if there are students who are not able to access the internet, we still have the facility to deliver exactly the same content across television and other media. Virtual labs were used during the past 2 years across the student community to make sure that all the experiments are at least done virtually. And in the years to come, blended models of learning will evolve, which means that you have a session in the class and the rest of the sessions will be handled from remote sector, in the sense that you will have Zoom meetings, or you will have Teams meeting or WebEx or any platform where you will have the doubt clearance session. The main session will be held in the classroom. So this is how the technology it can be integrated. I am sure that this will definitely help you. And most of the things, maybe you are totally aware of most of the things. So grading and assessment can help. Here you can see that picture itself says that you have the assessment, you have the grading, you have the experiments. Everything can be made, can be automated, can be virtual, and the evaluation itself can be done in the software. It can always generate the report card. You can send the system itself can send it to the parents, and the teachers can spend more time on productive work. So what is personalized learning? See, this is one of the important aspects of AI. So what happens is you want to find out which all are the weaker students who are weak in specific topics. and you want to give them some assignments which are at a lower level, so that you can handhold them to bring up to the higher level. So it is possible for the teachers to prepare a tailor-made study plan that will always help you to deliver the content in a better way. And the same, once the content is digitized, you can use this exactly the same content, keep adding into it and use in the subsequent years. So most of the e-learning systems will give you which section, which class, or which category of the students are weaker in some topics. These technologies will also give you feedback, because in an e-learning system, there are options to take surveys. There are options to generate automated feedback, even for the students as well as for the teachers. So how does it help? It will help you to improve the instructions to the learners. So that will make you deliver the content in a better way. And this will create more interest among the children. And instant feedback, if you are able to give them directly, that will help them to understand what is wrong, or how from where they need to deviate. So these are the ways in which you can use technology. So this is a typical e-learning system. I'm sure that you may all be using this Gsuite. Gsuite, of course, is Google for Education, but there are much more things that can be done in an integrated e-learning platform. You can have analytics and reports. For example, for a principal, she will be able to get a dashboard on how many students are attending the classes every day, or she can take a report for a month, for a week, and how the teachers are performing with regard to the feedback given by the students, and how the students are performing based on what the teachers are teaching in the classroom. It can integrate with any type of software. It can manage the courses. You can upload the lesson plan, and even the same can be accessed over the mobile phone. So the beauty is, there are systems where you can even generate the content in the local language or the regional language. And the course can have ratings. You can add videos, audios, or different type of images that will create the visual representation will be much more smoother or in a better way. You can have a different type of formats like PDF format or PPT or Word document. You can generate surveys. You can do creatives. If there are students who are interested in arts and design, there are online softwares which can be integrated with these e-learning systems. So e-learning systems will always help teachers to deliver the content in a better way, so that you can make sure that the students are engaged. See, now the most important aspect in teaching is to gain the attention of the students, or how you retain that attentiveness. Usually it is hardly maybe 15 to 20 minutes. To increase that, you have to have different type of exercises, different type of I would say engagements in the classroom. Whether it is virtual or in the physical classroom, you need to have different sort of engagements. So on the left hand side, you can see Google for Education, where you can have a collaborative way of teaching and learning. What is collaboration? You can always share the content with multiple people. You can decide who to give edit access, whom not to give edit access. And at the same time, you can do Meet. There is Google Hangout. There is a cloud, that is Google Drive. You can always have a calendar. The entire academic calendar can be integrated with Google Calendar. And on the right hand side, you can see proctored examination. We ran our entrance examination with the help of a remote proctoring, and we were able to find almost like 2,000 to 2,500 students copying during the exam because of the AI proctoring. So these are the advantages, where somebody who goes to the classroom and spends almost like 2.5 hours in the classroom for invigilation can just sit back in the room with the computer and monitoring 25 students having tea and coffee, and they can, the software will generate a warning saying that, okay, this guy is trying to copy. And even the software can validate whether it is a genuine student. So that is the example which you can see on the right hand side. Whenever the candidate shows the PAN card or Aadhaar card, the photo is captured, and it is automatically checked with the same card uploaded in the application portal. So the verification, manual verification, somebody sitting online checking the Aadhaar card or PAN card and the card uploaded manually, it is not at all feasible now. So there is technology to replace human beings for verification. So these are the ways in which you can integrate. You have to accept it as a help. Now, why we need coding? See, coding is nothing but the most important thing. Why coding is important in the classroom? First aspect is, when I started teaching the programming for the students after graduation, what I have seen is that they have a notion that programming is not that easy thing. They always want to have easier tasks to be done. So once you are able to give them easy tasks in programming, then you can ensure that they are able to build the confidence. So building confidence is one of the key things in teaching coding in the classroom. Now, next is logic. See, logic is very, very important for anybody to solve a problem. So now I want to travel. I want to travel abroad, or I want to travel to a far off place where I don't know how to reach. And now I have options. So I did some internet search and found that, okay, there are trains available, there are flights available. If I catch hold of the flight, then I have to again take a taxi from there to there. So I'll just analyze the cost. So nobody teaches me, right? Nobody taught me how to use the Android phone. And nobody taught me how to use Google or Zoom. We all are now experts in Zoom. So the way in which the logic is developed, if you are able to teach coding, that will definitely create a kind of mindset where they will start thinking of problem solving a problem. The moment somebody observes a problem, and then they will start thinking, creativity. How creatively can I resolve this issue? And they can come up with different type of applications. And it helps in communication also. Now, coding is challenging. When you go to the complex coding methodologies, it is challenging. See, recently, I'm not sure whether you are aware, the entire software to file the tax returns, it collapsed. And that was the platform was developed by Nandan Nilekani, who is the founder of this Aadhaar card. They developed this software, but there were flaws. Now, the finance minister wanted him to rectify the issue, which means that it is challenging. But if we are able to teach that at the younger age, then they will start thinking of how to solve a problem and how to look at the solution without just stepping back. So that is the key. If you start teaching the coding rightly from 5th class or 6th class, and it is essential for the future generation to make to learn coding. Now, there are vast number of career opportunities if you learn coding, irrespective of the branch you choose. Let us say even a BCom student. What is it that you hear? You every day you have a news about cryptocurrency, and the government says that they are bringing up Indian cryptocurrency, or they are planning to ban the cryptocurrency by the foreign countries. How is it possible that we can ban it? Now, even a BCom student will have to understand how this technology can impact their career. Robots will certainly rule the world. What does a robot do? A robot will even do a surgery. We have a hospital in Cochin where we have 3 to 4 robots, and they are called as Da Vinci robots. And these Da Vinci robots will do the surgery, but that robot is controlled by a human being, a doctor. And if a doctor is able to understand how the coding works, he can give better feedback to the company who manufactured the robot. And at the younger age, if they are at the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th standard, they can easily grasp the mathematical concepts, because mathematics and logic are very, very closely related. And that helps them to think in a different way. And that is where you need to integrate both mathematics and coding in the classroom. So somebody who is teaching physics, somebody who is teaching mathematics, somebody who is teaching computer science or programming can integrate all together. And if the students are participating in a competition, then definitely there is collaboration. And they start thinking how to think. That is what Steve Jobs said. How to think is the key aspect at the younger age. Then they become the problem solvers. Because each and every aspect when we see, because now all are in social media, whether it is Instagram, whether it is in WhatsApp, whether it is in Facebook, whether it is in Quora or LinkedIn, let it be any social media platform. Most of the kids are there in any of these social media platforms. So the moment they find out a bug, immediately the idea will ignite. And how does it help? If you teach coding, that helps them to think in a better way. Now, this is a robot developed by Google, and this is the recent invention where an attendant in the hotel is replaced with a robot. So they will clean this robot will clean the table. It is not an easy thing to develop such a robot. If you see, the robot has first to make sure that the table is not clean. Only that uncleaned tables need to be cleaned. So how does it find out? Without coding, it is impossible. So robot can function only if they are programmed, not otherwise. Otherwise, it will just be like a machine, a dead machine without any intelligence. Intelligence is possible only if there is software. And software is developed by programmers. So it is always the if condition and condition that will make the robot work based on the data collected with the help of images. And you can see the camera on the side of the robot that will make sure that the table is not clean. And then only the table is cleaned. Now see, the CBSE has already started implementing technology. And the problem they have found is make sure that the documents are not tampered, or find out a way in which the document cannot be tampered by anyone. What are the documents? The documents are the mark sheets and the certificates, tamper-proof certificates. Even I have witnessed there has been cases where people bring fake certificates to get admission. Now, the only way to identify is that we have to go to the website and see if this is genuine, website of the issuing authority. Now, imagine if there are 3,000, 4,000 students who are planning to join Amrita, and my staff has to sit day and night to verify these things. Now, the moment you click on a link, you get the data from the CBSE's ABCD portal, and you can make sure that this is genuine. So anybody, whether it is an employer or a university, wanting to have such a kind of certificate, can just register with ABCD portal and get the document. So how does it help? It will certainly help the organization with a guarantee that the document is genuine. And at the same time, there is no need to verify it manually, sitting in front of the computer. So this is one of the best examples of integration or implementation of technology to solve a problem. Now, how do you implement this step by step in a classroom? So what I have observed is, if you are able to relate the concept with real-time application, when you have a concept and when you bring in a real-time application, the students will be able to connect both, and then it is registered in their mind. And you can encourage, always you can encourage the students to create blogs, and whatever ideas they have, the solutions they have to the problems what they see. It can be climate change, it can be water conservation, it can be the traffic jam, reducing the traffic jam, or it can be construction of the roads. Let it be anything you appreciate them and let them publish in the blog. And it can be the same when you start teaching the coding. Why I am suggesting to publish the blog? Because blog itself is a software. Then they will understand how this goes to the internet. Whatever they type in the local computer is made accessible to the world. Then they start thinking, okay, web is powerful. Whatever you publish in the web can be accessed from anywhere. Then how does it work? How is it that the data entered from the local computer is sent to the internet and it is saved somewhere and is made accessible across the globe? So then they start thinking from a computational way. Rather than emailing something to somebody, publishing the blog and sharing the link will help them to publish their ideas. So these are some of the topics which my colleague, she is also here in this session. We found that these are the applications for the topics which are taught in the +2, 10th, 11th, and 12th, mathematics and physics. See, usually what we see is that those who come after the science, after the +2 to engineering education, we see that they are nowhere connected with the real-time applications. And this has to start from the schools. So we formulated something called as engineering foundation program. So these are the topics from engineering foundation program, where you talk about linear programming. Linear programming is one of the topics in the mathematics and where it is applied. So what essentially is the concept, is the idea here? There is science, there is technology. Science will never ever change, that will remain as it is. There will be research going on. There may be changes, but the fundamental idea will remain the same. At the same time, the technology will keep changing. You see, if you look at the Nokia phone, whatever Nokia phone was available in 2000, 2002, 2005, it is no more. Now we have moved to smartphones. But the concept of operating system remains the same. There also we had operating system, here also we have operating system, but how it is presented has been changed. There is architecture, it has been improved. So there is a lot of permutation combination that happens when you talk about the pattern analysis. We saw that in the video, we saw that the image of the retina is taken. And so, suppose you have an X-ray, and that X-ray is matched with thousands of X-rays of the different patients to find out what type of problem it could be. So it is a pattern analysis. So it is a permutation combination technique. And you can optimize transportation. You install Ola app, you install Uber app, you find out the best car near to you. With the help of the reviews given by the past the travelers for the driver, you can find out, you can choose which type of car you want. And now that we see bitcoins, and there are even the research that is happening in agriculture. We are too health conscious, food and nutrition distribution. So these are the real-time applications of linear programming. Why I wanted to share this is how you have to start teaching when the NEP comes into force, because this is totally interdisciplinary. What does that mean? A mathematics teacher will have to understand how this can be applied in a agricultural domain or in the domains which you see here. How the mathematics can be used in blockchain. The blockchain is applied in CBSE by CBSE to make sure that the certificate and the mark sheets are tamper-proof. So this is the real-time application, and this is how you must start thinking. You must start thinking as well as you have to start teaching. Now, vector calculus applications. See, these all are almost all the topics you hear every day. or you're most familiar. Computer vision is again exactly the same thing. The image of the retina taken and AI will analyze. You go to Netflix. Netflix will give you the best recommended movies for you. How? With the help of machine learning. So what is behind that? Algebra is behind that. So you have computer graphics. You see a lot of movies where, let us say, a software can create a dinosaur. A software can create elephant. How is it possible? With the help of 2D and 3D geometry. You see augmented reality. You can just have an augmented reality app, and you can take the mobile phone, take the photograph of the room, place different furniture and see how it looks like. Based on that, you can select the furniture. There is no need for you to go somewhere and see how it will be, to visualize. No, you can just see what is how it will look like if you place this furniture. Even in manufacturing and design, also this kind of mathematical principles are applied. So physics is most closely connected with communication. If you see the cryptography, 5G communication used in medicine, holographic processing, all these can be or the basic or the fundamentals is physics. So this is how you have to start thinking of when you think of implementing technology in the classroom, relating with the subject you teach. Now, let us say, even for a robot, it requires communication. Without communication, it is impossible. You talk about driverless car. How is it possible for a driverless car to send the data to the internet? To study more about, or to make it more efficient, it requires physics. Even in trains, medical system also requires communication, semiconductors. So when you come to technology, the base is science. So if you are able to impart this at the school level, this will help. Now, how do you connect both? I see Mr. Sanjeev is raising the hands. Let me complete, and then I'll come back to you. So how you connect mathematics and coding? So this is an example which I have taken from the internet. The link, you can see the link. I'll share this presentation with you. So why I wanted to show this is, see, most of the teachers I know, most of the teachers spend almost like 75% of the time in teaching. 25% is the role of the student. It has to be ulta. 25% you teach, 75% they have to put effort. Now, if you are able to gather some data from the internet, let us say these are the key trends of agriculture exports from India, and there are different crops. Now you ask the student to go to this site, prepare a table of this data, whatever is available, and you ask to apply some formula, whatever is taught in the class. Let them find some average, or how has been the exports in India happening over the past 10 years time. And then they know how whatever is taught in the class, where it is applied. So it is totally application oriented. Then it becomes application oriented. Then you are able to connect the subject as well as the real-time application where it is implemented. Now, a computer science teacher can come in and ask them to write a code to find out exactly the same thing what mathematics teacher told. So this is how you had to evolve. So that is exactly what you mean by multidisciplinary teaching and learning. And that is what this whole, the NEP is emphasizing about. As I told, even a medical student is expected to understand how a robot works. Otherwise, definitely they will not be able to survive in the healthcare industry. Now, weather prediction, one of the best things which you can take to the classroom. I always talk about weather prediction. And this is closely connected with the disaster warning systems. We have a lot of disaster warning systems by meteorology department. And this data will help you. Ask them to go to the website, let them download the data, use the data to compute, and turn that computation to the coding. The next best option is to use the COVID data. Let them apply the formula. Let them go to the website, download the data, use this data, apply the mathematical formula, write the code, and then come up with a solution. So these are how this is how you can create interest among the students. Now, another thing is those who are teaching computer science, the coding, or the mathematics teachers. See, one of the dramatic improvements in our digital system is the UPI. How does UPI understand about the transaction? Understanding a transaction is it has to make sure that the user is genuine. The code, the user ID, everything is encrypted. It has to reach to the source bank. If I am paying, mine is the source bank, there is a destination bank. So the entire process takes few seconds. And what is applied here? It is sorting and searching algorithms. Now, from crores of people who have bank account, UPI has to find my number. UPI has to identify me. UPI has to send my amount to my bank, then move that funds from my bank to the destination bank. So everything has to happen in minimum seconds. If you go to Amazon, you will see that there are hardly 3 minutes to complete the transaction. Can you imagine you are going to a bank, getting the check leaf. Next day you go to the shop, pay using the check or DD. Now, how far it has been simplified, and why now you understand why coding is important and how mathematics is closely connected with coding. Now, this is a small example which you can always talk to the students. These are problem solving techniques which I used to run contest, competitive programming contest, and I'll just read it. The most widely used application nowadays is food ordering app. Now it will give you what is the estimated time. Now the problem is around that there is a city with n areas. You are given the roads connecting them and the time taken to travel along the road. All roads are bi-directional. Due to the pandemic, the ith area, the area in which this person will go, is put in a curfew from starting time, maybe morning 9 a.m. to evening 4 p.m. All the time are in hours of the day from 0 to 23. UFO is a delivery guy who wants to travel from one area to another to deliver goods. If an area is under curfew, UFO can't enter the area. If he is already inside that area, he cannot leave before the curfew ends. Given the current location of UFO and the time, the UFO starts delivery. Find the total time taken for UFO to reach a destination, and there are few such queries. Note that UFO can wait on the road if required till a curfew is lifted. So this is a practical solution. Recently, there were a lot of news articles on the people who deliver the things, deliver the food. They work for 16 hours a day. It was reported by India Today. So how it can be optimized? How is it possible that the food delivery company can optimize the cost, optimize the time? So this is a real-time problem. Now, if you look at the next level, the analysis of Facebook posts, the reaction you see on the left, that is being analyzed by Facebook. And Facebook understand what is the reaction of the people for a particular post. And if there are thousands of such posts, for example, recently the death of CDS Bipin Rawat, the marriage by Katrina Kaif and Vicky Kaushal, or any new movement by government, demonetization. These things are very, very trending topics. And Facebook will analyze how the different states are behaving to this post. On the right-hand side, you can see one of our own posts where we got almost like 2,711 reach, 47 engagements, and on the extreme right, you can see there are no negative interactions. So what does it mean? the computer or the computing methodology technology is even able to find out if there are even negative interaction for a post. So that is the power. So these are the real-time applications of what you teach in a classroom. Now, this is one such example. You are given information about number of posts each person makes. Specifically, person I makes P1 post. I am reading the third paragraph. A study about user behavior tells that no one likes have the same number of posts as the other persons, as they consider it as a loss of their identity. So users make posts in such a way that no two persons have the same number of posts. So let K denote the number of supporters for the move. For each ith most influential supporter, you want to find his or her rank in overall influence in social media. So this is about demonetization. So how many are supporters? How many are neutrals? How many are against? So this has to be found out from the behavior of the people after posting such a post and reactions to it. And imagine if we can do this geographically, what is the behavior in each and every state or each and every city in India? It is something which is a mining thing for the government. They can change even the policy. So imagine the power of computing. Now, coming to the end, we are almost concluding. Computational thinking is very, very important. Very, very important, very, very crucial, because we are nowhere using pen and paper now. Pen and paper will vanish in no time. And we start using computers, laptops or mobile phones or tablets. It is essential skill for educators and the students. Now that CBSE have started using OMR to conduct the exam, who knows if the entire examination will be computer-based in future. And to solve a problem with technology, you need a mind that can think from a computing point of view. So the simple example is, whenever there is an event in the school, you ask the student leaders to come up with a solution. You give them a problem saying that, okay, we need to find out the results on the same day or on the next day without using paper and pen. So you have a problem. There is algorithm specification. Okay, this is how you do. And you solve it, implement it, and then evaluate. So these are examples in taking the coding to the classroom. So now, why it is important? As I said, data will drive the world. Data cannot be evaluated without a computer program. AI and ML will rule the world with the help of the data. That is what is happening now. You go to Amazon, it will give you recommended products. It knows your browsing history. Data science, big data analysis require coding skills. E-commerce is now growing rapidly. Companies are spending on digitization, and so is the cybersecurity industry. Now you get higher pay, higher career growth. So that's all about today's session. Let me conclude with a critical message which we follow in our university. There are two types of education. It is for living and for life. It is not that the getting a job is the end of the story. Definitely not. Students must have a life, and the life also needs some sort of education to balance. Now we have seen in the past 2 years, which no education was able to give such a kind of perspective on how to solve a problem in life. And along with the research and intellectual caliber, we should also think on how much we have been able to use our research to serve the lowest and most vulnerable strata of the society. As we said, the digital divide. If we can transform compassion from a mere word to a path of action, we would be able to solve 90% of world's humanitarian problems. So those are the words by our Chancellor, Sri Mata Amrita Devi. She says that the technology has to be used for the benefit of the society rather than using it for the destruction. Now, when you say that AI and ML and technology will rule the world, it could be even destructive. So as educators, as teachers, the principals, it is very, very important that You are the people, or we are the people, to mold the future generation. And let us try to make them understand on how we can use technology for the benefit of the society. And it has to happen in the classroom, not outside the classroom. So thank you very much for the session.